So Bill Clinton, he was doing a eulogy at John Lewis's funeral that recently happened. And there was a clip of, Bill Clinton and what he stated that got people's attention. And I want to show you this quick clip because we need to talk about Bill Clinton today.
Say there were 2 or 3 years there where the movement went a little bit too far towards Stokely, but in the end, John Lewis prevailed.
So you heard what Bill Clinton stated. He stated that for a few years, the movement went towards Stokely Carmichael, or also known as Kwame Toure. Now, why did he bring up Stokely Carmichael at John Lewis's funeral, and that brother has been dead since 1998? Why did you bring him up 22 years later? What did that brother say about you? Because, you became president around 92. What did that brother say about you that stuck with you all those years, Bill Clinton? He must have said something profound. But some people may be just getting introduced to Stokely Carmichael. Now, remember, he said that it went the way of Stokely Carmichael, or better known as Kwame Toure, but then John Lewis won. Now, what is it about Stokely Carmichael that bothered Bill Clinton? Let me roll you a few clips of Stokely Carmichael and the way he's speaking. You could hear it yourself.
Now, we have to explain to our people that this individual nonsense cannot do for us, because they will preach that individual nonsense and we will believe it and keep integrating their Wall Streets. We have to make a new slogan: one people, one voice. And we have to move as a people in our neighborhood to control. We have to stop reacting and we have to become aggressive. We can no longer stand up and beg anybody for a victory or a concession. Because I'm here to tell you that if you beg a man for a victory, he gives it to you. It's his victory, not yours. We have to decide where the battleground is going to be, how the war is going to be waged, and when we win the victory, remember, to the victor belongs the spoil.
When you use the term African American, I use the term Africans because that's what we are. We're Africans in America. There's nothing American about us. Our history has only been a history of struggle in America. We are the only ethnic group in America who have to shed our blood to make reform. To get the vote, we must shed our blood. To get our children to school, we must shed our blood. To get on a bus and sit where we want, we must shed our blood. To even get in a filthy 5 and 10 cent store, we must shed our blood. So I don't see how we could be American. We're Africans in America struggling against American capitalism. And only until it's destroyed will we enjoy the rights that everyone else is speaking of.
Well, how do you respond to that?
Stokely, Kwame Toure, my friend, my brother, my colleague, Mr. Chairman, I salute you tonight because of your courage, your raw courage, and your great strength. I had the great blessing, and tonight I feel more than lucky but blessed, because I serve as chair of SNCC from June 1963 to May of 1966. During the time of the March on Washington, Mississippi Summer, and the march from Selma to Montgomery. And some of you may remember the Executive Secretary of SNCC, James Foreman, used to call us a circle of trust, a band of brothers and sisters. So Stokely, you are a warrior because you dared to stand up and speak truth to power. And so tonight I come to say thank you, Brother Stokely. Thank you, Brother Toure.
So as you heard, the way Stokely Carmichael, better known as Kwame Toure, he was a great Pan-Africanist as well. You heard the way he speak about his people. You also heard about how he described Martin Luther King's tactics and what was his reasoning behind nonviolence. Okay, so a man that was with Martin Luther King saw everything that happened and said, wait a minute, that didn't work. It didn't work like that. Because at the end of the day, yes, we definitely had some gains, but also we losing a lot more too. And we also lost a lot more with integration, on the business side, We got too integrated to the point that we aren't having our families as we used to, versus prior to that, we had our families together. There's so many different things that integration has done to us as black people that's not been good. Actually, the only people that benefited from integration was, the system itself and capitalists. That's the only ones that benefited from integration. The rest of us, we really haven't benefited from it, and we haven't made any gains like you think we have. We're still being redlined. We're still being gentrified. We're still dealing with racism. We're still dealing with race soldiers. We're still dealing with, healthcare that don't treat us right. You got the prison industrial complex, which is, we didn't even have that during the civil rights movement, the prison industrial complex. It wasn't even around. So now Bill Clinton, he got some other issues that he need to be discussing, like what he doing on the island over there with old Epstein. We'll talk about that on AfricanDiasporaNews.org, and we can't go in on certain topics like that here. You want to hear those type of videos on our website. We talk about topics that we will not talk about here, because here you have to be censoring yourself. Okay. Certain people you can't talk about here. Oh, I know that. And I won't allow anybody to come here and do it. But on AfricanDiasporaNews.org, we talk about whatever we want to talk about. It's our website. Okay. So you could join, links down below. Whatever price point you would like. We now have we got a trial membership for 2 days at $2.99. We have now 3-month subscription, a 6-month subscription, and a year. And also, as you go up, you will save a percentage. So it won't, be the actual full price of those percentages. So check it out. But you heard on the video, we talk about John Lewis. Well, John Lewis was at a tribute for our brother, Kwame Toure. He honored him. He said he spoke truth to power. So why did Bill Clinton feel it was okay to go in John Lewis's funeral and disrespect a man that he respected and a man he said that was his friend? And they was in the civil rights movement together. Why would you go do that, Bill Clinton? Disrespecting John Lewis's friend. Because that brother didn't want to put up with racism and white supremacy? Because that brother believed in taking an aggressive approach to it? And not to go along and get along. And the term black power, it comes from Kwame Toure. He the one created that. Now, he also was the prime minister of the Black Panther Party after he was ousted out of the the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Okay. After he got out of there, he became the prime minister. He went to the continent. He got with the brothers and sisters over there. OK, he made sure to connect. He was always in and out of the motherland. And he ended up dying over there as well. He died in Conakry, Guinea, when he was 57 years old. But the good thing about Bill Clinton is that he brought up our brother, Stokely Carmichael, or better known as Kwame Toure. Because some people maybe never heard his name before. Some people maybe never seen his videos. And now people can go look for his videos and see what he was talking about. And see do the research into the brother. There's a lot of people in our history that they don't want you to talk about, even civil rights figures. They don't want you to hear about the brothers or the sisters. No, all they want you to know is about Martin Luther King and, he was so nonviolent, and that's all they want. And then even though Martin Luther King was so nonviolent, look what they did to him. That's one thing you need to start telling them. Oh, you need to be more like Dr. King. And look what happened to Dr. King being like Dr. King. Look what y'all did to him. Maybe if he wouldn't did what you did to him, he would be here to talk with us and maybe help with some guidance or something. But now, because you set the precedent of killing off our leaders, now you don't have leaders. The code has to be the leader, and which is better. Because if the code is the leader, then you can't strike the shepherd and the sheep scatter. The code is the one that, just like the white supremacists, they operate on code. They don't operate on no leader. Why do you think they say, well, who's the leaders in Black Lives Matter? They always want to do that. Let me get a leader. There's no leader. And when they say Black Lives Matter, look, they mean black people. Everybody in Black Lives Matter. If you black, you Black Lives Matter. They're like, I ain't part of that group. Well, you Black Lives Matter. You know how that goes. But Bill Clinton got some other things he needs to be discussing. And we'll talk about those other things on AfricanDiasporaNews.org because it doesn't make any sense. And the stuff that he is coming out here, you know, think about this man, after this man been gone 22 years and you bringing this brother up in your speech. I was trying to think, what did he say to you to make you think like that? To worry with him. But before we wrap up, you know, speaking of, you know, Bill Clinton and, you know, how people like him try to come in and act like they're not racist. Because, you know, clearly what he said was anti-black racism. Clearly, you know, make sure you be in a way that we like you. You know what I'm saying? And their racism is still going on today, too. Like I said, it is their anti-black racism that says they don't want reparations. We talking about the Democrats. We ain't talking about the Republicans. We already know. We talking about them. They have just as much anti-black racism as anyone else. They do. Because they will give you symbolism, but never substance. They'll take down a Confederate statue all day, but they will never put reparations. They don't never want to put reparations in your back pocket. They don't never want to make sure you get money to start businesses or whatever. They'll change the street and put the street name Black Lives Matter. What does that do for black people? Nothing. They never do something that's for us. I want you to point what they're doing and how it doesn't mean crap for us at all. But before we wrap up, we're talking about substance. It's going to take people like our friends at the 10K Project to make sure that substance happen. Now, that website was created to make sure to help black-owned businesses who can't get nothing from people like Bill Clinton and make sure to hurt us, right, in our community. They put that website together to help black-owned businesses receive capital. That's one of the hardest things for black-owned businesses to receive funding, because the more funds you have, the more you can grow, right? So it takes the community coming together on a site like that, and you can actually invest in the black-owned businesses, a minimum of $100 if you want to. That's all, and then you will sit on it. You can see the proposal, you can see everything, and you can actually invest, help out the community, help provide jobs, and also make some money down the line if the business is successful. So it's like a win-win. Everybody's winning at the end of the day. So make sure you go to the 10kproject.com. The link will be down below as well, the very first one in that pinned comment. And if you have any questions from them, hey, just send them an email while you're already on the site. But leave me a comment, guys. Let me know what you think about Bill Clinton trashing our great brother, Kwame Toure. But Kwame is definitely respected. He definitely will be honored, definitely by our community. He is a freedom fighter, and he's somebody we greatly respect.